The Tiniest Snail by Andrea Kaczmarek. The snails all lived in the salad garden, perfect for snails, full of crispy salad, sweet tomatoes, tiny cucumbers and fat, juicy strawberries. The snails were happy, but Big Gardener was not. Snails are pesky pests. Then came the Bad Snail day. Big Gardener arrived swinging a bright red bucket. He collected up all the snails, into the bucket and off to the wild, wild garden. Big Gardener collected up all the snails, then he tipped them out into a wild garden where the rhubarb, spinach and onions grew. Those snails didn't know what was going on. They were all pretty shook up. Then Big Gardener put up a snail fence all around the salad garden. He put up a sign, "Snails keep out." There was just one teeny tiny little problem. Big Gardener had missed just one snail. He had missed Tiny, the tiniest of all the baby snails. Tiny had seen the shadow of Big Gardener getting closer with that swinging red bucket. Tiny curled up inside his little snail house and snuggled deep down in the very centre of a salad. Tiny was now the very last snail in the garden. Tiny was all alone. He nibbled on a salad leaf. He nibbled on a fat tomato. He started to feel a teeny tiny bit better, but still so lonely with no other snails around. Tiny was clever enough to hide when he saw the Big Gardener bending over the vegetables. The very best hiding place was right at the centre of the salad. That's where he always snuggled down. Big Gardener only ever looked at the outside leaves. He never checked out the middle. "No snails today," Big Gardener laughed. "I hope you're all happy with the hairy old rhubarb and the overgrown wild garden. Ha, ha, ha." Then one day, Tiny Snail heard Big Gardener. "The sun is shining. It's a perfect day to have a salad feast with all my family. Where are the crispiest, crunchiest and munchiest of the freshest salads?" Tiny slipped into the heart of the crispiest salad as fast as he could, as fast as any snail ever could. He curled up and stayed as still as still. But he got picked. Big Gardener picked his salad. What a lovely crispy salad! Big Gardener smiled. Perfect! Tiny Snail was bumped and bumped. He just knew that he had landed in that big red bucket. It got worse. He got a shower of water all over. Then he felt mighty sick after a whizzing spinning. The salad hearts were all whizzed in the salad spinner. Big Gardener then tipped all the crispy salad hearts, cucumbers and tomatoes into a great big shiny bowl. What next? Tiny Snail wondered. He was scared. Snails just aren't happy in salad bowls. Tiny Snail picked out of his salad heart and looked up. A great shower of thick, creamy yellow stuff landed right on top of him. Ugh! Tiny Snail got covered in that thick yellow stuff. "Is it yellow rain?" Tiny Snail spluttered. "There's a tiny snail in the salad mayo." The children around the table were shouting, "A mayonnaise snail!" Tiny Snail could hear the children cheering. He tried to slide away, but one of the children picked him up. "Snails belong in gardens, not in the salad bowl." The children were all laughing. "Back to the garden, little snail." Big Gardener shouted after them, "Take him to the wild garden with the hairy rhubarb. That's where all the other pesky snails live." Tiny Snail was tossed into the wild garden, his shell still sticky with yellow mayo. The other snails couldn't believe that he was back. "Where have you been?" they asked, and he told them his mayo adventure. They all had a lick of the bright yellow mayonnaise sticking to his shell inside and out. "Whatever it is, we don't like it," the snails all agreed. "Crispy salad, fat tomatoes and sweet strawberries are what snails like, not sticky yellow stuff." Tiny Snail is getting bigger now, and he's very happy to be back with all the other snails. He missed them so on his big adventure. The end. Thank you for reading with Storyberries.com. Free stories for kids.